This tweet popped up in my feed just earlier today, and I figured, you know what? Before reading through it, I want to set it aside and then take a look at it with all of you. Go through it bit by bit, see if we agree why Wuthering Waves is the best gacha game right now. Although, before we do, I also want to point out, just 6 days ago, I did a video titled Wuthering Waves has become the #1 gacha game in the world. I genuinely hope that it's not like rehashing the same ideas. And also, if you've not already checked that video out, check that video out, because Wuthering Waves might just be the best gacha game you'll ever play. Now let's take a look at this thread. Beginning with Female Rover, I guess that's point number 1. Why Wuthering Waves is the best gacha game right now? Female Rover. True. 110% true. Comparatively to every other female main character, the Traveler, the Wanderer, the Trailblazer, the character in Zenless, Female Rover, best, at least visually, the best looking main character. A game first, gacha second. Wuthering Waves, as of now, is considered as one of the best anime open world games in the gaming industry despite being a gacha game. That is true. The quality of the game has improved tremendously since it launched last year. That is also very true. This game has been met with critical acclaim after 2.0. Everyone seems to love the game now, except for the people that don't, and those people are wrong. I think, though, game first, gacha second is not entirely correct. Yes, they do focus on the game and what players want from the game. If you guys recall, they gave out free 5-star SSR selectors. They gave out a lot of polls, 10 polls, premium currency, everything when the game launched because players were unhappy with the state the game was in. They've repeatedly invested so much of their money into developing new features that players want, which at least gives the impression that the game or the developers do prioritize the game first and then the gacha second. And then you look at the business model and you think, yeah, there's a 100% guarantee on the weapon banner. You can buy characters in the cash shop with the afterglow corals that you acquire merely by pulling characters over the course of the game. I do believe and I do agree with game first, gacha second for the most part. The gacha definitely could be tweaked, and I mean, you could entirely remove the 50-50 from the character banners and give us a character for 80 pulls. That would be fantastic. I would be totally on board with that. Heck, I would be okay if you upped the requirement for characters to 100 pulls for the guarantee and then give us a 100% guarantee every time. I would pay for that. Let's see the second point, the combat. Yeah, I don't even think we need to read this, do we? The combat in WoWA is praised for its fast-paced action-style combat. The flexibility of this combat system is really good, which allows you to play units despite their own specific buffs. Yeah, there are people that like cleared all the content with, who was it? Dungeon, right? Dungeon alone. Wild. Although at the same time, I also do believe that the action combat in this game is absolutely flawless and unrivaled, there are lots of people that believe Zenless is better action combat, Genshin is better action combat, Punishing Raven is better action combat, Honkai Impact is better action combat, and that's because at the end of the day, in spite of what I believe, and in spite of what a lot of us believe, Wuthering Waves combat isn't for everyone, and that is okay. Exploration. Since the start of the game, was heavily praised for its exploration, which made players explore easily and the allowance of pinpoint tracking of mats. Now, 2.1 introduced a flight mechanic. WoWA exceeded the player's expectation for exploration. 2.1 did not introduce a flight mechanic. On the contrary, 2.0 introduced a flight mechanic. 2.0 also introduced the gondola system. So 2.0 introduced flight. And 2.0 with flight has made exploration the most fun in any gacha game, period. There isn't a single gacha game that has exploration as fun as WoWA now. And you know what? You can explore freely utilizing the flight system without it being locked to a single character, without having to pay for it. It's just freely implemented in-game. Now, what they do need to do is now transition this flight mode over into all the 1.0 through 1.4 zones. That would be great. Before we go any further, I do want to take a moment here to thank all of my incredible patrons over on Patreon and my YouTube channel members who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are absolutely phenomenal, and I genuinely cannot thank you all enough for the support. Next, the gacha system. Honestly, we did already touch on this just a minute ago, but let's see what he has to say. The fact that game first, gacha second is even more backed up by the pity system. That's not true. I do believe the pity for weapons is good. I believe the 50-50 pity at 160 for the character banners is shit. Absolutely atrocious. I hate it. I hate yes, it's more free-to-play friendly than Genshin. Yes, you can buy dupes in the store, which is great. I think that is a really good system, but I hate failing every 50-50. I've never won a 50-50 in Wuthering Waves, and I have every character except for Rochia. So I hate it. I do. It's not free-to-play friendly, and it is not backed up by the pity system. This I disagree with. Unlike most Gacha games, Wuha has 100 rate-up weapon banners, which allows players to build their teams efficiently. 100 rate-up, well, I mean, yeah. No, I agree. It's great. The gacha for the weapons is great. The gacha for the characters is not. So it's 50-50. I think the gacha system is not good, but it's not bad. The lore. Okay, you know what? Yeah, the lore and the story, especially in 2.0, has gotten really good. I thought the lore, the story in 1.0 was not great. I like chapter 5 and 6, 6 especially. I thought 1.1 was great. 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. So I think they've had hit and miss, but overall, they have done very good with it. Even though the initial lore of Wuha was slow and kind of boring. Well, I mean, yeah, everyone now acknowledges that. The devs made sure to deliver an interesting story by the ongoing patches, which is like literally what I just said. Okay. The narrative of the lore is mesmerizing and addictive, and in my opinion, it can be enhanced by adding more black screens with white text. That is 100% truth. It can be enhanced by adding more black screens with white text. That is exactly what we need. What we actually need less of. Okay, let me show you. Here is what we're greeted with when playing Wuthering Waves. More specifically, the Phoebe story recently. This is what we're met with. So, like, do we want this? Is this what we want? No, what we want is to be told that this is happening. We don't want these beautifully flawless, no, these horrible animations. No, we don't want these terrible stories to be shown. No, what we want to be told is told that all this is happening. That's what we want. We want to be told these characters are fighting. We want to be told that these characters are holding hands. We want to be told these characters are dancing. We do not want to see it. It is more immersive when we can read on a black screen, on a black background, white text saying, the female rover grabs Chong-Li's hand and then leaps into the air. Chong-Li lights the field ablaze. It bursts with hundreds of phoenix feathers, lights her enemies on fire, soars through the skies, rips open a dimensional portal, and destroys all her enemies. That's what we want to see. We don't want to have it voiced. We don't want to have, actual sound effects happening. No. Now, what is this? What is this? No, that's exactly the opposite of what we need. Quality of life, I don't need to explain this. Yep, very true. The devs themselves, they are flawless so far. But maybe one day they'll let the money go to their head. Who knows? I think we get to read the dedication and hard work of the developers is the main source of success of the game. As we all know, Wuha devs are known for their generosity and their responsive mindset to the players' feedback. They listen and deliver. 100% agreement. If you made it this far, thank you for reading this. Don't mind my grammar. I'm not good at English. No, dude, your English was great. Don't worry about it. Absolutely 110% agree with pretty much all of this except for the gacha. Other than that, phenomenal. Yeah, and the character designs. Oh God, how can I forget this? Yeah. How can we forget that? Yeah, 100%. I know you're missing this one right here, but I mean, how could we? How could we? Especially with what happened at the end of 2.0, right? All these characters, absolutely flawless designs. Were you actually aware that there are people out there that think these characters are ugly? For some godforsaken reason, somehow they believe these characters are ugly, that they're horribly designed. I don't know what kind of mental gymnastics they're jumping through, but wow. So yeah, I mean, I did a video on it. Lots of people believe the same. Wuthering Waves is arguably one of, if not the best gacha game right now. Hey, where do you think you're going? I see what you're doing there. I see you navigating on over, scrolling on over to that X button. Don't you dare. What I need you to do is take a moment and click one of the videos that are about to appear as soon as I'm done talking. And trust me, you're gonna want it.